Hi,
Are you there?
I'm here.
Finally?
Finally.
It's been a while.
I'm a little nasally. Don't laugh at me.
Yeah, you are a plug.
Yeah. I had a talk with my dad the other day, and it was like the first thing he said. Are you sick? You sound funny. My dad doesn't really talk like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you were sick. Or I guess you still kind of are.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm plugged up and my voice sounds funny, but I feel better.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah.
It's that season.
It is.
That's what people tell me.
I feel like people say that all the fucking time, though.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, you've been sick, so we haven't recorded anything, and so we have not had any episodes, and no one has asked why. We just wanted to let you know anyway. Whoever you is.
Indicator. We've been off the air and no one's noticed. Thanks, we're back.
Yes. Yes. Well, cool. What's new?
I went to a Reiki.
Reiki?
Reiki?
Rafiki?
Rafiki? Yeah, Reiki. You know, like the
energy. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think.
It's not Reiki?
Reiki?
I think we know it as Reiki.
I don't know. It's like how
you should say
it's like how Canadians say pasta and pasta.
You should say Reiki.
Reiki.
Because that's how I'm pretty sure the most people know.
Okay.
When you say Reiki, it sounds sort of like you stink a little.
I went and cleaned my socks at the Reiki convention.
Anywho, okay, so you went for a Reiki
pasta. I went for a Reiki session where we did this creative manifestation meditation.
But isn't Reiki like a spiritual massage, pretty much, where you're like laying down and people move energy within your body without actually touching you? That's what I thought Reiki was.
Partially. Reiki in general is energy work.
Okay.
So anything that has to do with moving energy, whether that's through your physical experience or, through meditation and connecting with, spiritual guides or higher selves or.
Okay.
Whatever you need to connect with. It's about connecting you with energy, clearing negative energy and connecting you with positive energy. So whatever form that takes. But I guess most people know it as the physical form.
Yeah. That's why I'm asking.
Moving energy through your body and.
Yeah. So why did you go to this?
Because I felt stuck lately. Like throughout my 20s, I had this very clear vision and like sort of goal for what I was going to do with that decade. Like I had moved to Vancouver, wanted to get working in the film world, and knew that I wanted to work up to being in like the big features and all of that. All those places that I eventually got to. And then I got there and I felt like I stayed too long, and maybe that's part of why I got sick. And then after that, feeling like I got to do something different, but I also don't want to do something that's not film and photo related. Like it still felt like whatever I'm doing in this life has to be related to visual storytelling in some way. But it also began to feel silly to break my life up into decades. Like I had envisioned it in my 20s. To be like, in my 20s, I'll do this. In my 30s, I'll do that. In my 40s, I do this. In my 50s, I do that.
That is dumb.
Like,
just be like, okay, right now I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm going to try this.
But I didn't know. Like, I felt like I always needed a thing to be.
You needed that 10-year plan.
Yeah.
That's a trick that school teaches us.
Totally. 100%.
Or not. They don't even teach us that. They bash
it into your brains with steel hammers.
Yeah. It's dumb.
Um, yeah, and so I guess after making the changes that I made in my career, and then making the changes we made in life in terms of coming together and living together and moving here to Calgary and getting animals and building, um, I guess the vision for life that we want together in a long term. Suddenly, I was like, oh my god, everything I thought I knew about putting together a life and a career around that is like gone. Like, like what do I do, or how
I'm
do I
here to
connect with?
shake it up.
Well, like, when like when you're starting out in something, or I guess maybe going from school, it feels like people paint this really easy ladder for you. Like I felt through my 20s I had this easy ladder of, you know, okay, get some experience on set working with people, and then I can apply to the local small Canadian union, and you do X amount of days on that, and then you can apply to the big union, and then you can get onto those big features. And like there was something that felt very much um planned and like scripted, I guess,
Okay, so for you,
about
yeah.
that. And then all of a sudden I felt like I was thrown into this whirlpool of like, I don't know, and nobody knows. Like, do what you want and what you feel, and you'll see how it turns out. And it's like, ah, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
how do I make money? How do I meet people? How do I do the things I want to do? Like, everything else felt like there was this very clear path. Like, meet these people who worked on those projects, and if they like you, which they will because I'm charming. Like,
Yeah, but do you ever actually really meet those people? Do you ever actually get a face to face with those people, or you get to work with them, but not as close as you might have thought?
exactly.
Like you really don't get that close to people that if others say is gonna be influential.
English is hard
I wanted
today.
to keep going, I guess, in with that word. To your career advancement.
Yeah. And so I think that was the motivation to go for this Reiki. Is that how we're
Reiki.
saying it? Reiki. Okay.
Like rake.
Yeah, to go for this
Me and my
meditation.
Reiki are going out
Me and my rake.
to move some leaves around.
I'm gonna scoop up the dead leaves.
Yeah.
Clear the negative shit.
Yeah. There you go. Think of it that way.
Yeah. And I guess because I've just been on a bit of a more spiritual quest
Yeah.
ever since my chemo experience, and from meeting you and following these synchronicities that life has unfolded, I thought, well, what the hell? Like, let's go try this and see what can happen. Because the session was advertised as something for, helping you uncover those next steps and to sort of visualize what it's like to, I guess, create a new life path, or to go into uncharted territory.
So did you see this somewhere that made you think that sure I should try this, or did you already know about Reiki and thought recently that you should seek that out?
Well, at first, when I was looking around at Reiki, I was looking for more of that physical thing that we were talking about at the beginning. Like because I felt like, from the post cancer experience, like it can be really hard for me to, what's the word here? Like not control, but like block and not allow the energy of others and those around me to come in and really permeate me in my experience. Like, I guess right now I feel like there's a lot of fear and anxiety in the world, or with people that I meet, and I can feel like suddenly I start feeling those emotions or that energy of like, I'm afraid or I'm anxious about something, and I go, but like, why? Like, there's nothing happening in my life that I should be fearful of or anxious about. And anytime I've thought about it, I think of the people I was around and I go, oh, yeah. Or like, what were the news stories I was listening to? Or what did I read about on the internet? And I go, oh, it was that influence. Like, it's nothing that actually happened to me. It was just something from someone else that got into me. And even just feeling low energy myself, like I can't pick myself up and go make myself do things as much as I could. So I had been interested in Reiki for that, and then when I was Googling around for like energy workers and Reiki centers here, this one popped up that was Luna Holistic, and our cat's name is Luna. And I was like, oh my God, synchronicity. This is a thing. And I just became enraptured by their, I was reading through their different services, and that was a specific type of session they offered, a creative manifestation. And I was like, that sounds cool. Like, that's what I want. That's what I need. Like,
Yeah.
I've been struggling to connect with my own creativity and how that's supposed to, like, come out in the world, you know, because I feel like I've been just doing things because they would pay me, or because it was helping a friend or something, you know, or building a connection, but it wasn't something that was connected to my creativity, even though it's creative work. And that's felt like the next step forward is, how do I, you know, connect what I'm doing with things that I want to express. So that felt like a long-winded answer.
Yeah, it was. But thank you. Okay, do you want to share your experience at all?
Not too much of it.
Okay,
No.
well,
It's like a personal thing, but I
okay.
will say it went really awesome. And I think it more validated thoughts and feelings that I've been having around what I should do or could do. And I feel like it just gave me that little confidence boost to say, yeah, go do that.
And it gave you a sense of direction and like what steps you need to take to get further.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and I
Get
think what I was
out of that stuck place.
totally
Take your feet out of the mud.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait, what's the horse's name again?
The horse?
Oh, sorry. The horse who are Atreyu's horse in the Neverending Story.
Oh,
that
right.
gets sucked into the sadness. Anyways, that's you,
That's
but
a good
you
metaphor.
pulled yourself out of there.
Yeah. And it was, and to me, I think what I was most looking for out of this.
Artax. That's his name, sorry. Artax is the horse's name. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I was most looking for was just like, what are the next 2 steps or 3 steps? You know, like I wasn't really going into it looking for the long term goal or the, you know, where am I going to be in 10 years or where's my big success moment or something. It's like, I didn't care about that. It was like, what do I do like this week and in the next month? Like that's it. That's all that matters.
Well, yeah.
Because I'll be wherever I'll be in 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
Like whatever. I don't know or really care about that. Because right now, all I can do is, you know, wake up in the morning and decide to write or call someone and pitch them on a project, or
Yeah.
you know, go out with a camera and practice something. Like, you know, it's like, that's all there is. It doesn't matter. Yeah, where the big end is, and having shifted my mindset away from that decades of life, you know, and be like, whatever. Cool. Good to know within the decade of my 20s I could achieve something I put my mind to. Great. But when I got there, I couldn't recognize it or feel the, you know, joy and celebration of having arrived there. And also life keeps going on, and I didn't have any plan for that. So like Fail.
So you woke up today extremely motivated.
I wouldn't say extremely, but yeah, definitely motivated.
Highly motivated.
Yeah, encouraged, inspired, and I think confident. There were some visions within what we were meditating that gave me confidence in myself. Like I saw myself doing things I want to do and doing them with that feeling of I've done this a lot. I know what I'm doing. And if I'm directing people, like I know how to direct them, or I have chosen them because I know their visions and their styles are aligned with whatever this project or thing that we're doing
Yeah.
together is.
Well, it's funny that you say that right now because I already see you doing that now on a smaller scale, but you've always talked about having imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
which is dumb.
Yeah. I agree. It's dumb.
I mean, not to trying to make how you feel, not validate how you feel, but your mind, your psyche is telling you also. And I just want to um tell you too that this is what I see from the outside, and not blowing smoke. This is just what I naturally see, and I wouldn't lie about it. You know, I think we're pretty honest if we feel like we need to work on something or whatever. So you already got a good start there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So just now that your self has told you that too, your subconscious.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, yeah.
Yeah.
Really,
Subconscious.
yeah. Trust that.
Yeah. And I think I don't know that imposter syndrome or that sense of not knowing what you're doing, like, I don't think that ever really goes away. But I think the thing that we learn in a artistic um, life or a career path is being able to just give that voice less and less of our energy and attention.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You would let it kind of put you in the sadness pretty much.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that would debilitate you and keep you from moving forward or doing things that you already know that you can do. So I guess the point is that might not go away completely. I mean, we still might not know what we're doing. Like, I live my life day by day.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be scary, and it shouldn't be, like I said, debilitating. It shouldn't stop you. Just be like, oh yeah, shut up.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something about or at least something about the U.S. public school upbringing that I went through that, and I will say I think Canada might even be worse at this. That just puts this idea in your mind that you need to get approval from somebody above you for something to be like official or real, or to be something worthy of making or putting your time into or bragging about or putting out there, and I think that's been the fun part of this journey of making my own work. And I remember when I was recording the song, that I made when we first got together, and talking with Andy, the producer, and it was like we were both commenting about how we thought, oh, there'd be someone looking over your shoulder, saying, oh, how did you, mix that, or what plugin did you use, or did you do this the right, quote, right way or something. And it was like, no one, there's no one there. Like, people hear the finished song, they see the finished video, they look at the image that you put out there, and they like it or they don't. And like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
No one really gives a fuck what you did to make it or what your process was or if you did something before something else. Like, it doesn't matter. We're all out here just as creatives trying to make a thing, and we're doing the best we can with what we know.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. And that was hugely liberating mentally.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, on that note too, can I talk about your leg?
Yeah.
You also got this really cool, like, abstracty, spiritualistic tattoo on your leg.
I sure did.
Well, it's a work in progress, but yeah.
Yeah. But like 90% done progress.
Yeah. And it's large.
It is. It's my favorite.
What kind of elements are included there?
Yeah.
if
It's
you
a
want.
very, what do they call it? Freeform, organic, and kind of like marker drawn style.
It kind of just looks like a doodle. Like somebody
Yeah.
doodled in a notebook but it's tattooed on your leg.
Yeah. But it's got some specific designs to it.
Yeah.
So I had met this artist, Max, and we were working on some music together, but then I discovered he does tattooing, and he showed me his style, and I was like, holy fuck, that's super cool. I love it. I want it. And I just kept following that energy. I was like, all right, like, how do we do something together? And he asked me to just sort of jot down some notes and things that came to mind. So, and actually you had found, what was that page you had found?
I remember my dreams.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
that was the specific drawing I connected with, but you were looking for some tattoo designs.
I was just
and you had this
looking
page
for random, like, I don't really know what I was looking. I looked at a lot of things, like dreamy, well, ow, cat, sorry, spiritual or like, yeah, just random things, but more so like a design or a drawing or something, and it just sort of came up in my many random searches on Google Images. So I can't really actually, if I looked it up, I could probably tell.
That's all good. Because either way, you were showing me some other designs. It was like this whole page of designs, and you were showing me a couple that you were thinking of. But I saw this one that said, "I remember my dreams," and it had this cool like eye sketch of an eye that seemed to be very sort of star astrological, and then it was in a bit of a Pisces like fish sort of outline, and there was a lot within that symbology. Is that the word? Symbology?
I don't know if that's a word, but we'll take it.
I'm going with it. That's my word. There was a lot within that felt like it connected with me at this point in life, where I feel like I'm remembering my dreams. You know, like I've had these dreams of the life that I want and how I want to live it. And somewhere along that decade of my 20s, I forgot those dreams. And now I'm remembering them. And that's when life seemed to sort of flourish and flow and explode. And it aligned so much with what Max's style was. Yeah. And so I just decided, I'm going to just go with that. And I'm going to take that little drawing as inspiration, and I'm going to add some thoughts and ideas to it. And
I do want to just jump in and explain. So I was looking at like witchy tattoo ideas, and I came across, or magical, witchy, whatever, something cool. And then I found something that page that came from was called Room Protecting Sigils. So it's like
what?
Sigils.
Sigils. What's a sigil?
Like a symbol.
No.
Banish darkness from this place. Be gone sadness and pain. Fill this space with love and joy to be light once again. So that was a sigil on this page, a symbol from this page. So it's like protection
Okay.
in a way, I guess.
Yeah, or I don't know. I thought of as inspiration or a symbol you would keep
It's a
around to remind you
yeah.
of
So it's
something.
magical. A sigil is a type of symbol used in magic.
Magia.
So yeah. So that was cool. I
Yeah.
ended up not liking it anything in particular based on what they meant. Like a lot of it is for protecting space,
Yeah.
like rooms and whatnot. But yeah, no, I'm glad that I found it though, because obviously it was meant for you.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Because it became the big like centerpiece of this
Yeah.
design. And what I loved about Max's style is he does a lot of it very freeform. Like he'll just draw the design onto your leg. Like doesn't work from a stencil, doesn't pre-plan it out in that sense of you'll show up, I'll draw it out, we'll print it, and we'll put this on your leg. He's like, nah, man, like come over, I got this marker, and
Yeah.
you gave me some ideas, and we'll just sketch something out on your leg. And I loved that because I think to me a lot of what I love and admire about tattoos is more of the story and the connection with the person and what that tattoo I guess can symbolize about I guess who I am or my experience and outlook. Like I don't think that any of my tattoos are really anything that are about like something I admire or a design that I think is cool. They're just like
Well, yeah, no, this
things I did
definitely-
at times.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it. Personally, it's not something that I would maybe do. I like a little bit more structure. And skinnier lines. But it's still beautiful, and obviously it actually, when I look at that, I think that's completely you. And I remember you've been talking about, oh, I want another tattoo, but I don't know what I want. And as soon as you met him, it was just like, this is what I need. This is why you waited so long.
Yeah.
Because you hadn't found the person to give you what it was that is more like you.
Yeah.
And everything that you guys have put on there so far just speaks you. And I think that's really cool.
Thanks. It's fun to see that recognized. Like I say, I guess the general theme for those who can't see my leg is like lines of energy. Like when I saw his style, it's very, again, spiritual and energetic.
It's flow
and organic. Yeah, flowy. And so it made me think of like that grounding connection of earth energy that comes up through us. And so I wanted him to tattoo my leg. I was like, oh, I want something in your style that like can represent and show energy and life force, coming up through that grounding connection with earth up into us. So and part of that, I remember my dreams, like I guess in a spiritual from a spiritual perspective, I believe that we plan a lot of our life here. I don't know if it's down to the detail of everything that's going to happen each minute, but I do believe that there are general arcs to our life that we plan. We're going to have this kind of a hardship. We're going to have this kind of a connection and love. It's going to last for about this long. This is what our family is going to be like. And, and I think it's because we're here to experience those things and to learn and grow from them.
Yeah. Well, what I remember from the medium that I had met was many years ago. She had said like the reason why we have multiple lives, we keep coming back, is because we have another lesson to learn, or we never finished it in that last life, or whatever. So we're meant to experience all these things.
Yeah.
So and same, you've probably heard this too, where we choose our parents, like we choose where we are to be born. And yeah, so that all makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so I think that's why I remember my dreams connected so closely, because I think a lot of, we always tell ourselves to, chase our dreams, or, things along that nature. I'm like, wow, well, why would we encourage that? Like, it must be, I guess, not must be, but just if I look at that through a spiritual perspective in life, it's like, oh, because, you're remembering something about what you had planned and wanted to experience and learn here. So remember your dreams and chase them.
Yeah,
Like,
I gotta laugh for a minute though, because when I had first looked at it, and it was, I remember my dreams. I had thought literally, like, I remember what I dreamt last night. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me, but it makes so much sense in the way that you're saying it. Oh, right, because where we dream, as when we're young, we have dreams. We want to do things, and then we get beat down by life, and we just go out and just try to survive.
yeah. Yeah.
And
And I think that
that's
couples with
huge
my
for you.
meditation experience of,
Yeah.
connecting with my inner child, and, having them say, why don't you play anymore? It's like, right. Like, dream, play. Of course. Because how else are you going to, um, show people what's possible, and show yourself what you're capable of, and
Yeah.
find joy and love in your life, right? Like, if you don't believe in that, or dream that it's possible, or find ways to just play in your life, like, it becomes miserable. So anyhow, it was kind of bizarre, because that became the front and center of it. And then Max added the earth grounding symbol, which is a triangle with a line through it, onto the top of my foot. And that fucking hurt.
Yeah. But also,
don't get your foot tatted.
well, maybe not with 4 needles in one, but
Oof.
the thing about feet is it has to go back to your star sign as well.
Yeah. Because while he was tattooing my foot, he tells me that the Pisces rules the foot, and I'm a Pisces. And I was like, holy fucking
And
shit.
I don't know if anybody else out there didn't know, but because it never ever comes up with star signs that I've heard, is that they have to do with relate to areas of your body as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Hey, you know what though?
I'd kind of forgot about that, but when we were looking it up, I vaguely remembered, because it also said that Pisces rules the lymphatic system in the body. And I was like, oh, and I had like a lymphatic cancer.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, again, this was one of those weird star signy kind of moments in life when I thought, oh, wild how I got so sick with something that ruins
you're supposed to
this,
control.
system that I control. But again, that's connected to your star sign, and your star sign is about the things that bring you joy and light, or like the things that you do that make your light shine and bring your light to the world.
You know what I just thought about? I'm an Aquarius, and my body parts are the shins, the calves, the circulatory system, but the shins and the calves are connected to the foot.
Yeah.
Like, we're so close together in body parts. Anyway.
Well, and Aquarius and Pisces are right next to each other in the zodiac, in the calendar.
Oh. Duh.
Yeah. But also, I remember someone describing it in the way of like, part of what brings life to ocean and water is the oxygen in the water. Like the
and
Aquarius.
I am an air sign.
Yeah. So it was like, it's that combination of air and water that like brings life.
Oh my god, it's like Avatar the Last Airbender.
Oh my god.
Well, and then because him and Katara, and she's a waterbender, and it's like they follow them mostly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Geeking out.
I did find it funny though, because I never thought that Pisces, a watery sign ruling the foot, seemed kind of funny. But then when Max explained it, it was like, well, like life came from the ocean, right? And there was at some point in time some kind of a fish frog creature that decided to hop out of the water and live on the land. So it was this creature that developed feet and, like from the ocean, from the water, that
You're like a
made
mermaid.
feet to. No, mermaids can't live on land.
Well, they can if they just sell their soul. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, I was like, huh, yeah, that's kind of interesting. And maybe it's something too about like moving between places or spaces or something. I don't know. There was some kind of parallel I thought about with my own life of leaving the U.S. and
Well,
choosing a very different
yeah.
path than anyone in my family had
Well,
ever gone down, and moving to a different country and
I-
staying there and building that life. I'm like,
I have to kind of think of it as like a no fear kind of thing, like I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Like I'm just going to split my fin and make feet and
Right.
fucking go here and
I'm
there.
just gonna make feet.
Right? I'm just going to go here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come back to that confidence thing.
Yeah.
Which, we have that we don't always realize that we have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, so within that, I guess that was the big inspiration. But then he also has this fun way of drawing little soul people that he does.
They look
in
like
his
little
own
ghosts.
Yeah. He's like cute little ghost people. And so I had him put some little spirit people that represent you and I together and our connection and the way that we felt when we first met and the way that we still feel now about having, like, we've known each other forever. And this is just, the 1,001th life that we're spending together.
I'm giggling because you actually had to point it out to me because it's wrapped up so like subtle.
Yeah.
That and even when when I looked at every time I kind of look down, I'm like, where is it again? I still can't see it. So unless you're like still and I'm looking and I'm, really looking for it, it's hard to see, which I also think is kind of cool because you don't want everything to be that obvious in that kind of the tattoo.
Yeah. Well, I don't like that about art in general for me. Don't make it super obvious. Make me hunt for it. But that also feels like our relationship too. Like, man, I had to wait till I was like 30 to meet you. Like, it wasn't super obvious.
Yeah.
I didn't meet you early on.
No.
And even when we did meet, it was like, damn, you're engaged. And like, but I like you a lot. Like,
but I'm meant to be with you.
It wasn't obvious.
It was for me.
Well.
And here we are. Yeah. There we go. So it worked out. But anyways, what else you got on there?
I have us tattooed on my leg. So, me.
Yeah, but you don't have my name.
No words, no letters, no alphabets.
What else you got? What else you got there?
And then on the back of the calf, because I guess all of that kind of wraps around the front and some of the shin. I will say there's also like viney flowers and leafy things growing up, and then little arrowy kind of designs. But around the back, I wanted this all to connect because again, everything he does is cool line drawings that like they feel Picasso-y, right? Like this long line of stuff that just moves around and becomes all these different things. And I had wrote in part of my notes like stoned ape.
What did you mean by that?
Well, I had become aware of this theory,
thought, yeah.
the stoned ape theory,
which
is that as like humans evolved, well, I guess the idea goes if humans evolved from apes or monkey type of creatures way back, there was a thought that those monkeys were traveling around with cows. And when cows poop in certain areas in certain climates, these mushrooms grow from their dung,
So
which
you
are
mean like
psychedelic.
high, not because when you said stone before, I'm thinking of actual like rocks.
Yeah, no, I mean drugs.
Okay, that makes.
I mean
Man,
psychedelic
I'm still
drugs.
learning a bunch about your tattoo because I was wondering about the mushrooms.
Yeah. And so this thought was because a lot of science can't seem to explain why human brains how monkeys developed into humans and then human brains develop so quickly and vastly compared to how a lot of other evolution evolves and goes. Sorry, this is a very abridged version. So for anyone, like, please call me out on the incorrect science, but that's the general theory, is that these apes discovered psychedelic mushrooms, started taking them, and then that caused incredible amounts of like brain growth, spiritual development, and somehow turned into us being here looking at iPhones.
So what you're saying is we all need to do mushrooms, but straight from the cow shit, so that we can develop our brains even more and get bigger heads like aliens.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
That's
there was
what
something
happens.
about, because as I've developed, or as I've delved into the spiritual world, I've also become fascinated by the psychedelic world. And there's things both on the spiritual lens of life as well as the scientific lens of life around like psychedelic mushrooms that indicate it helps rewire your neural pathways, like increases your neuroplasticity within your brain. So you can learn more things, or you can change old habits, or you can broaden your perspectives, or, like all of these kinds of euphemisms that we use for, I guess, being able to change your earthly experience and how you feel about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really cool. And so pairing that with the like, I remember my dreams. And then if I was like, and then if you took mushrooms and if you were like remembering your dreams, and then that rewires your brain to like focus just on your dreams and stuff, like, I don't know. There's a lot of coolness around that. And it reminds me too of just the magic of life, like believing in those synchronicities and saying, well, isn't it a little more fun when there's some magic instead of like knowing everything? Like,
Totally.
what if you just took some mushrooms and had this trip and you're like, was that real? I don't know. But like, if I choose it, it was real, then it was real. And like, that's cool. Like, who cares? It's my experience. It's my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved what Max drew up with that too. And this way that he drew the skull and had this sort of earthy, viney line for the teeth and stuff. But then there was like this squiggly mess of brains inside of it. And then it has like these mushrooms growing up out of the skull itself. And like that whole design is growing out of this like Kundalini eye kind of.
Yeah, no,
drawing
that's probably
under.
my favorite part of it.
No, that
Look
was,
wise.
and I will say that was the only part that he, like, we pretty much did it exactly how he drew it. Because I sent him some notes and he sent me some sketches with references back for things like, here's, some pieces that I think, and then however we link those together, I don't know until we show up and draw it with a marker on your leg. But that whole stoned ape skull thing on the calf was like pretty much what he drew.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah, that's so cool. But yeah, and so I've only got a little bit of space to fill on the like inside of the calf here, because it was 3.5 hours with a really thick needle and going really deep, and that was all I could take that day. So I've never gone that hard and long for a tattoo either. Like,
Totally.
I think the most I've done is like 2 hours, but with a very easy needle on the outside of the arm, not a very sensitive spot, versus, going your foot and your calf and all these other very sensitive areas. So No. So I got more to go back and do, but I was really excited to get that done. Feels fun. Makes my leg look cool.
It does. I like it.
Thanks. Yeah,
Sad.
what else? I don't know. You got a bunch of tattoos lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want
I
to talk
do
about any of those?
I mean, I guess, yeah, sure. So I feel like I'm playing catch up on all the tattoos and piercings that I've wanted but didn't get because someone else didn't like that idea. And stupid. Yeah, don't let anybody tell you what not to do or what to do. Anyways, and plus I just got the itch because now I'm like, oh, well, now there's too much skin. And so I gotta fill in the skin, right? Because I've got my tattoos are all scattered. I can't remember what they call that. They have a name for it being all just scattered or whatever. So I don't remember the last ones we talked to, but since we moved here, it was like January 20 must have been 2023. We moved here in April 2022, right?
Yeah.
When did we start? And I think it was January 2023 when we first, yeah. So January 2023, we found a tattoo artist I love, and I've been going to her ever since. She's given me all but one of my tattoos since we've lived here. And I couldn't tell you how many that is now. I think I'm in the 20s. And I think she gave me more than half of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess my most recent would be I got the word bangarang on my knee. And no, it's not a reference to the Skrillex song. Although that's a great song, but it's for the movie Hook, you know? Like, that is one of my all-time favorite movies. And we watched
referring to the Peter Pan live action.
Yeah, with Dustin Hoffman, Robin Williams, Julia Roberts, the 1990 movie. I think it was 90 or 93 or something. It was around there.
Was that Steven Spielberg too?
Steven Spielberg, yes. He says that's one of his it's not a favorite movie of his. Which I think
it's our favorite movie.
Yeah, so fuck you, Steven. We loved it. Love it still. So anyways, we watched that again months ago or whatever, but it was still just everything that I remember it being, just amazing. So yeah, the word bangarang in a really cool font. And then above that, so it was actually someone else that did that word because I just walked in for that. Normally I put a deposit and make an appointment because I want to make sure that I get in, right?
With Skylar.
Skylar at Atticus Tattoo in Calgary. Anyways, above that, I had found on Instagram an artist that does really cool kind of horror art. And I love horror. So I guess it's like a bloody hand, like a red hand, a really kind of like, it's sort of anime drawn, but a hand, very feminine, long nails with blood dripping from it down to a vampire's mouth, pretty much. And it's all red except the vampire teeth and a couple white highlights. And that looks so cool. And it's most of my right thigh, and I fucking love it. It's so cool. So cool. It was a lot of red. A lot of red.
It is very red.
And then I got on my arms, trying to fill my arms up with a bunch of random things. So my mom and sister-in-law and I were talking about getting a matching tattoo because they wanted to get the same as my Mickey Mouse ears. But I told them that I'm getting that removed because it's the only tattoo I have that I fucking hate. I have Mickey Mouse ears on my right wrist, and it's fucking large and black as night, and it's the ugliest tattoo I have. I almost wish just to get rid of it right now by just drawing a whole fucking circle, like just make it a black circle at this point. And
what's that tattoo? It's a full moon.
I hate.
Get out of here.
Hey, that's smart. Yeah, no, I hate it. so much. When I got it, it was a walk-in, and the guy said he couldn't go smaller than this. And now that I know better, because I was young, I feel stupid. It looks stupid, and it takes up so much of my wrist. I hate looking at it. Anyways, so I have to do a couple of sessions to have it lightened because they can't cover it up the way that it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them that, and they're like, "Oh, okay. Guess we got to get something else." So we decided on a sunflower. So on my left wrist, I got a sunflower, but it's sort of just like a continuous line, very super simple, kind of watercolor spots.
Feels like watercolor or Picasso to me. That's what I think of when I say
Yeah, super simple. I had originally thought of something more detailed, and then I was like, that's not really me.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that. And then at the same time, I got a really big cat skull on my arm as well. And it's so detailed. This is something that Skylar really likes to do, is skulls
And teeth.
and teeth and cats and bones. And it looks so fucking cool. It's probably my favorite right now.
Yeah.
Sorry. I like a lot of my tattoos. And then just to add on, because like I said, I mean, if we have some time, let's fill it up.
Let's fill it up.
I got a little dinosaur, little T-Rex on my arm. I call him the Yogasaurus, actually, because he's basically doing mini cobra, which is just a yoga move. Anyways, he looks cute. And then
awesome.
to top that one off, to top that session off, I got something really ugly and funny. His name is Numamon, and if you're a Digimon fan, you would know he's like a slug-like creature with human teeth and wonky eyeballs. Basically, I love Digimon, and he has no intelligence and no power. Like, he throws his own poop, and I just thought he was funny, and he looks funny, and I just was like, let's do that. Let's just throw him on there. So those are the most recent, since I guess, well, those I just got a few weeks ago. But those are all the new ones I've gotten since November, I guess.
Nice.
And then I have,
And you got piercing?
I got my conches done. So
Conch.
your ears, the hollow part of your ears.
Right.
But I have another session with Skylar booked already in April, so like 4 weeks from now. And I'm getting like 10 tattoos at once there, but they're all very small.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you more about that later.
I feel like we have different approaches to our tattoos in that sense. It's like you get a ton of little things, and I'm like, do one big thing.
Yeah, well, because I really like this whole, it's trending now, but I can't help that I really like that. All these tiny tattoos on your arms just to fill up the space like that. Yeah. I didn't realize that once I got a tattoo on my leg that I was going to want more on my legs. Yep. So now, honestly, to balance out my right leg, I have to get something on my left leg, but I haven't figured that out yet. I might be a little bit spontaneous when it comes to some tattoos, like this dinosaur and the Digimon and stuff, but for some big ones, I really need to think about it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, it takes up a lot of space. Like,
yeah. But the nice thing is that I trust her completely. So like, I know that she's been able to do everything that I've asked. And, like it's been great. So.
Yeah. I feel like she's brought her own style to a lot of it too.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is that I gave her a reference on the cat skull, but I wanted her to put her own spin on it because I liked her style. Like, I don't want to always copy what I see on the internet either. Mm-hmm. I want it to be somewhat unique.
Yeah. I think that's part of where I can struggle with tattoos a lot, because I feel most tattoo artists who are out there, or at most who work at most shops, kind of just do what people bring them.
Well, because that's what people bring them.
Like,
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. People often like do what I do and find a picture and then bring it to them, and so they're
Yeah.
gonna comply with that. They're getting paid to do it and whatnot. But I know based on what Skylar has said is that she wants the opportunity for people to just be like, hey, these are what what I'm thinking. Can
Mm-hmm.
you help me make that happen?
Exactly.
But
And that's part of what I found fun about doing this tattoo with Max was like, wow, I think this was the most free form I've ever been in a tattoo. I'm like, I have no idea what it's gonna look like, what you're doing really.
yeah, there was a lot of
Just that,
trust.
like, it's just like, but yeah, exactly. Like, I trust you. I like what I saw. I want you to bring your vision to it. And, even as he was putting it on me, it was like, um, or I think we were talking for a little bit about how bizarre that relationship is, if you kind of think about it, between a tattoo artist and who's being tattooed, right? I'm like, this is a
Client.
person who, their artwork is on another human's skin.
Well, totally.
Like it's
Well,
not on a
and
canvas, it's not a whatever. You can't
yeah.
like scan it and duplicate it and whatever. It's like, no, this is just on you, and it
Yeah.
goes around. And but I thought it was cool how he responded, and he was thinking about the history of tattooing, and like he was like when I think of the history of tattooing, um he's like, I don't think of it as an artistry. It's more of a like um a way to symbolize people's like stories or ranks in the culture or some,
Yeah, if you
like
talk
it
about
was,
history,
yeah, like
it's
if
not
you
what
think
it's
of
like now for
yeah.
most people. Well, of course, there's still people who do the tribe and the um, indigenous
Hmm.
people who actually get that at a certain age, like
But even those
for a
things, it's like
purpose.
you have to, have done something
Yeah,
or
yeah.
earned that. And then also, I mean, we were talking through it, I guess just because I had a lot of moments where my leg was like shaking with pain at the end and I couldn't always hold still either. But it was like, yeah, that tattoo also represents your ability to like sit through and endure that pain and discomfort and the healing of it, like there's, it's maybe not as much um about the design and the, I guess the modern day definition of artistry, but
Mm-hmm.
I did find it fascinating how it is something that really symbolizes this connection between two people,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
someone had to put that on you.
Yeah. Well, and I used to just walk into places, right? And then you're just kind of gambling at that point. I've been pretty lucky. Pretty lucky. I have some that could use a little extra work and one that needs to be removed. But so when I was actually finally I'm older now, a bit wiser, maybe didn't like exactly the last person that did my tattoos. But although it's fine. I just need a little filler fix.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted somebody that I liked, I can see within their portfolio that they can execute and they do a good job and the style that I like. So when I found Skylar, I was super stoked because now she's my girl. I go back all the time. And now I keep, every time I go back, I'm like, so this could be the last time for a little bit. And then I sent her an email and I'm like, so I lied. I'm super ambitious. Here are all the 10 million I want next. Can you tell me how long it's going to take so I can book it? But again, like I said, well, now I got the itch to just fill the space because I can't stand the skin that I see.
Mm-hmm.
But probably the next few months, however many I am able to get in the next few months without breaking the bank and whatnot, will be the last until winter because I don't want to get any during the
Yeah,
summer. It's dumb when people do that. They're like, oh,
well,
I
that's
can't go out in the sun. You're
I
not supposed
know.
to expose that.
It stings so bad. I remember the first tattoo I got. Um, God, I think it was in, yeah, it was in like the late spring or something, because it was a few months after I had turned 18. Like I got it pretty quick, and and like, don't go out in the sun. Don't put it in direct sunlight. I'm like, okay. But then something was going on, and I remember like being in a tank top in the middle of that, June or July fucking time in Washington State, and it was like, oh my god, it felt like I was being stabbed in my arm. I
So
was
just
like,
getting re-tattooed.
it was like worse. Somehow it was worse. I don't know, but I walked out and I was like, what the fuck? Like, it hurt so bad.
Now
And I'm
you
like,
know.
yeah, no, don't get tattoos in the sunny time.
No.
Tattoos are definitely, a winter affair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, save it for then.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've talked enough today. So I'd like to go. But I wanted to say, unless you have anything else.
No,
Because
I
we need
feel
to
good.
save some things for next time too. Because I'm always like, what are we going to say? What are we going to talk about? Anyways, the last thing that I want to say is that we are changing our schedule, our release schedule for episodes because, we have things that we want to do. And honestly, I just don't feel like we have enough content to fill every week. So we're going to go on a bi-weekly basis. It makes way more sense for us.
You're bi?
Huh?
Weekly?
Maybe. From the waist up, yeah. Anyway,
That's funny.
just so you know. So tomorrow you'll get an episode and then you have to wait 2 weeks. Whoa. Not like we just missed like 2 weeks.
Everybody's been chomping at the week.
Well, you know what? We've been busy with Love is Blind. And now that that's over, everybodybody's going to be like,
Oh, that's a whole
where's
different
Grace?
episode. Hold on.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm so over. Anyways.
No, we got to do an episode about it. But anyways, yeah.
Okay, well, talk later.
Bye.